Little birdies go tweet, tweet, tweet. Yeah, in the evening when the sun goes down. It's never dark when she's around. She's so affectionate, and I'll say this, that when she kisses me, I stay kissed. When my sugar walks down the street,
Here we go.
the birdies go.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
It always did sound silly. I forgot. Yeah. Thank you. Ken, I know you're interested in songwriting because you asked me about it from time to time. Would you like to know how you go about writing a song?
I certainly would.
Because sometimes young people have that aspiration and they want to know how. Here's the best way. The best thing to do is to find a title or a label. Then after you find that, you write the melody. You always have to write the melody first. Don't write the lyric first. And you write the melody in the mood that you want to tell that particular story. Then after you have the melody, then you wed the lyric to the melody, and you have a wedded song, what's called a properly wedded song. But if you write the lyric first, which a lot of people do, it doesn't seem to turn out right. Unless it's a very strong poem, something like the Road to Mandalay or Trees or something that's already been established, it never seems to work out.
That probably explains why I haven't had a hit lately.
Well,
So I've been pulling the lyrics out first. That's worth remembering, all the crowd here. You know, I thought you were an old star, old vaudeville star, you know. They use that word old with you all the time. What? I don't get it. You've got a crowd of teenagers here in the studio.
Well, how about that, huh? Say.
Mrs. Austin better watch out. This handsome Gene Austin here is drawing a teenage crowd, and all, or most of them, good-looking young ladies,
Well,
too.
I will go along on that. I think that's fine. Say, I have a young teenager, too, you know.
Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
Talking about her the other night. I'd like
Have
to
you got
have
a couple
few
hours
words.
to spend? I can tell you.
Well, I
just
think
a
we
few
do. We
highlights.
can, Tell us about this picture.
She's with
coming up.
20th Century Fox, and she just made her first picture for Columbia called Rainbow Around My Shoulder.
It's a wonderful old song, you know.
She has a very cute singing style and plays the piano much better than I do. And sings better, too.
I doubt that. Probably in a feminine way, she does. But this picture has just been finished, you say?
Yeah, huh?
Do you have any idea when it'll be out?
No, I
Toward Nashville
haven't,
way?
but I imagine it'll be pretty soon. I
She
know
has
I'm
the-
going to go see it.
She has the lead in that, doesn't she?
That's right.
That's Charlotte Austin. Everyone watch for that, Rainbow Around My Shoulder. And there's a picture coming out, Yes, Sir, That's My Baby, you know, starring Danny Thomas. We plug that occasionally because that's our theme song on the show, Yes, Sir, That's My Baby.
I
Story
made a
of
record
Gus
of that,
Kahn.
of course, yeah.
And we...
Oh, that's
We
I'll
wanna
See You in
mention-
My Dreams, isn't it? Isn't that the story you're talking about? One
no,
Danny
no,
Thomas?
that
Another one?
song is featured in the picture.
Oh, I see.
But the name of the picture, if I'm not mistaken, is Yes, Sir, That's My Baby with Doris Day. And the picture we want to talk about, though, is one that's coming up this spring that someone named Gene Austin is going out to make.
Well, that's a picture called, I think it'll be called My Buddy, I think's the name of it. It's a picture, story of Donaldson and myself. And Paramount's going to do it, Dick Powell's going to do it.
Mhm.
I'm going to do my part, and he's going to do Donaldson's part.
You'll play yourself in that
Well, I guess so.
and do the
I
narration.
don't know if I'm the type. What do you think?
I think so. I think judging from the pictures, you haven't changed a bit in the last 20 years.
Gotta
It's
get
amazing,
out of the gym
huh?
a little bit, I guess, and get off the meat and potatoes. Eh?
You cherry signals me that I was wrong. First time I've ever been wrong. You're absolutely correct. It is. I'll see
You
you
mean
in
the
my
first
dreams.
time I've ever been right, huh?
We'll put it that way. It sounds better for me, you know. Keep my Nashville audience
That's right.
going. We'd like to get on with some of your new songs. If we won't give away anything now, you've written a couple last summer. A couple of them haven't been published, I understand. Would it hurt anything to feature them
No,
on the
you see
radio?
what you do, you sort of get a backlog of songs, you know. It's like writing letters. You start writing, and you write a whole gang of them, you know, and then you get everybody written to while you stop for a while. Well, would you like to hear something new?
One you wrote last summer, and you played it the other night at the Plantation Club about your old hometown.
Oh, well, this is a story of a fellow going home, you know, after he's been away for a long time. Of course, everything kind of gets smaller, you know. It shrinks up. Big thing, it used to be a river, it's just a little creek, you know. Everything is different. Would you like to hear that?
Sure would.
There you go. If you've ever made a sentimental journey back to that little place you used to dwell, then I know you've had a sentimental yearning, and you know the story I'm about to tell. Yes, you know the story oh too well. Where is that watermill that rippled through the rocks and rills in my hometown? Where is that whippoorwill that sang his song out on the hill in in my hometown. Where is that lovely girl, the only one in all the world? It seems they're not around. I guess I stayed away too long from my hometown. Where is that turtle dove that showed me how to fall in love in my hometown? Where is that evening star that's going to tell me where you are in my hometown? They've all deserted me, this loneliness is hurting me. It's bound to get you down. I guess I stayed away too long from my hometown. Where are the gentle folks that laughed at all my corny jokes in my hometown? My jokes will have to change or else they're acting mighty strange in my hometown. I've stayed away for years and waited through a million tears so I could settle down. But I guess I stayed away too long from my hometown.
Gene Austin with a brand new song. We look forward to seeing that published and
Is
also
this,
on record.
Is this among my souvenirs?
That's the lyrics. Now, Tom Landis, the one who writes the show, forgot to tell you, he writes in Chinese, I think. Can you make that out?
Well, I'll go as far as I can.
I'll hold that up for you.
You know, a friend of mine wrote this lyric and sold it for $20. A fellow named Al.
Is that
Dubin.
right?
Mhm.
This is for Mrs. Hall on Sheldon Street.
How's it start? How's the melody start? You remember?
Don't ask me.
Well, now, isn't that funny? I know it, and I just can't think of it. Oh, now we're getting closer. Let's see. There's nothing left for me, is that it? Of days that used to be. I live in memory among my souvenirs. Some letters tied in blue, a photograph or two. I find a rose from you among my souvenirs. A few more treasures rest within my treasure chest, and though they do their best to give me consolation, I count them all apart, and as the teardrops start, I find a broken heart among my souvenirs.
Thank you very
Well, I
much.
struggled through that one.
Wonderful struggle. Came out on top, and Mrs. Hall, who called us in last week, wanted that so badly. We thought we'd...
That's a nice lyric. A
we
beautiful
thought
one
we'd
of the
import
finest
Gene
lyrics.
Austin from Florida to come up and sing it to her in person.
Good.
That was all right.
This fellow, I might tell you, Ken, was one of the finest lyric writers in the business. He wrote a lot of great tunes, or a lot of great lyrics, rather. He wrote this. He wrote, Tiptoe Through the Tulips and Painting the Clouds with Sunshine, Lullaby of Broadway, September in the Rain, Indian Summer.
This wasn't his first song, was it?
Oh, no.
It's what made him sell it for $20, is what...
Well, he was in
lectures me.
between pictures at the time.
Oh, I see.
In
It's a
between
matter
songs.
it's a matter of eating, then.
Yeah.
I'd like to give credit to a lot of our studio audience. I don't know all their names. Miss Patsy Waterfield's here, Mr. W.W. Coffey, Mr. Bill Hardy, Mr. and Mrs. Bill Hardy, and I wish I knew all the other names. We'll try to get them on. And I see the phone calls are coming in. Gene Austin's just too popular.
My creditors caught up with me. Huh?
That's right. They caught you. We'd like to have Tom Landis on the show in just a moment, a fellow who's been writing all the wonderful things about you. But first, we want to hear from Nashville's top disc jockey, Hugh Cherry.
Just one word, and that is, I just finished the show, and I got wound up on that control board in there, and that phone's ringing off the wall. I mean, my wife expected me home at 5:45, but I've taken great delight in answering the calls. And Gene, I know you have sung My Blue Heaven already, but we've had half a dozen requests for it at least, and we've had requests for Among My Souvenirs, and two requests for one other that slips my mind, but one of your native tunes. I'm just a bloomin' dead, I can't remember. But if you would do My Blue Heaven again,
All right.
and if possible, among My Souvenirs, because we've had at least 5 and 6 respectively for those two tunes.
Uh-huh. Well, we just went over this among my souvenirs. I mean, I think I'll sing Blue Heaven this time. Huh?
All right, well, Blue Heaven, because I think that'll answer most of the requests, but that bloomin' phone is ringing off the wall.
Well, good. Maybe they'll come out to Plantation Club.
Oh, that's right. That's out at Bill Darty's Club Plantation on Murfreesboro Road.
When whippoorwills call and evening is nigh, I hurry to my blue heaven. A little white light, and then you turn to the right. We'll lead you to my blue heaven. You'll see a smiling face, a fireplace, a cozy room, a little nest that's nestled where the roses bloom. Just Molly and me, and baby makes 3. We're happy in my blue heaven. Who stole my heart away? Who makes me dream all day, dreams I know can never come true? Seems as though I'll ever be blue. Who means my happiness? Who would I answer yes to? Oh, well, you'd ought to guess it's you. Yes, it's you. Who means my happiness? Who would I answer yes to? Well, you'd ought to guess it's you.
Are you getting tired of doing this?
No, sir, I'm holding up pretty good.
I mean, after 20 or 30 years, he still enjoys singing them, you know.
I've had a lot of practice at it.
Wonderful. He's a wonderful showman, ladies and gentlemen. You have to see him in person at the Plantation Club tonight. I mean, if you haven't planned to go out there, don't miss it. Tonight and tomorrow night, and then you're taking off back to Florida.
Going to Florida, that's right.
Being featured at the Glades in St. Petersburg
Uh-huh.
in a couple of weeks, I understand. And then, of course, you've got that picture staring you in the face. And these songs being published. What a life. What a wonderful life.
What a life.
Now, the other song that Hugh was trying to think of, he told me just then, is one of your tremendous hits, one you wrote yourself, The Lonesome Road.
Lonesome Road, okay. Look down that lonesome road before you travel on. Look up, and seek your maker, for Gabriel blows his horn. I'm weary toting such a load, trudging down that lonesome road. Look down that lonesome road before you travel on. True love, what have I done that you should treat me so? You caused me to walk and talk like I've never done before. I'm weary toting such a load, trudging down that lonesome road. Look down, that lonesome road before you travel.
I asked Gene the other night how he managed to keep such a tremendous range, and you told me just by singing.
Well, I guess so. You just, more practice you get, the more you sing.
Well, since you told me that was Monday night. I've been singing and nothing.
Nothing's
Absolutely
happened?
nothing.
Well, give it one more day. Try one more
I still
day.
have the monotone, ill-sounding voice. A lot of the people here in the studio would like to hear a tune that came out in 1929, I believe. You played it the other night at the Plantation. It's Bye Bye Blackbird.
All right, sir. Pack up all my cares and woe, here I go singing low. Bye bye, blackbird, where somebody waits for me. Sugar's sweet and so is she. Bye bye, little blackbird, why no one here can love and understand me. What hard luck stories they all hand me. Make my bed and light the light, I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye-bye. Someday, sweetheart, you're gonna be sorry for what you've done to my poor heart. You may regret the vows you've broken, the things you did that made us drift apart. You're happy now and can't see how the weary blues will ever come to you. But as you sow, so shall you reap, dear. What you reap will make you weep someday, sweetheart.
Terrific, wonderful. A medley of two there. Bye Bye Blackbird, followed up by Someday, Sweetheart. Now we want to get that little story about Nashville you were telling me the other day. Your first recordings on Victor came out in 1924.
Mm-hmm.
That was under your name. But then you were telling me about the Aeolian Vocalion, someone here in Nashville. Could you tell the folks about that?
Well,
I
I'll
think
tell
it's
you
very
what
interesting.
happened, Ken. There was a fellow here, he's a blind fellow. He used to play on the street here, and the people come in on Saturday, and they liked his music very much, so there was a big store here, sent him to New York, and want him to record. I was a songwriter.
That was before Grand Ole Opry days, by the way.
Oh, sure. I was a songwriter at the time, and I happened to be down there, and this friend of mine told me he was having trouble because nobody could sing the way that they wanted him to. So he tried all the singers around there, and this fellow's voice wouldn't record. He played the guitar and the harmonica, you see, and he knew all the songs, but his voice wouldn't record. We didn't have the electrical recording
acoustic
then.
days. Isn't it?
So I made the records for him, and, well, we called it country singing, So I said, well, I know how to do it. So I made the records for him, and I wrote a lot of them. I wrote the Blue Ridge Mountain Blues and the Smoky Mountain Blues and a whole lot of different things. And I made all these records, but we made them under his name. So when I went with the Victor company, they asked me if I'd ever recorded before. I told them no, and they said, well, this guy really catches on fast. So that was the first hillbilly records that were ever made.
Mm-hmm. And they were made on other labels, too, weren't they, besides the old...
On Edison and Brunswick,
Edison, the old manhole cover records.
Yes,
real
sir.
Thick. His name was Reno, I believe. You told me that.
George Reno.
George Reno. So if anyone listening ever gets a hold of a George Reno record, let us know. It's a true collector item, being the first that Gene Austin ever recorded under a different name, and also the first hillbilly records, or country music, as you say, ever recorded. Number you used to feature in your act every place you went, Candy and Cocoa.
Yes, they were a very fine combination. We were talking about them this afternoon. Coco was the first guitar player, to play music, melody on. They used to just strum it like a ukulele. And Candy was the bass player. He's a fellow who's with Jimmy Durante now. He has the up and down voice, And it was the first trio, the first
It's Candido,
guitar.
is that his last name? Candy Candido?
Johnny Candido. I called him Candy because the other kid's nickname was Coco, and we didn't know how to say his real name, so I called him Candy and Coco.
A number of people had called in asking about that team. And also, you've started on their way many people in show business. You were telling me, who is it with Arthur Godfrey? Of course, that's a cuss word on this station, being another network, but...
Well, there's a fellow there that started in the arranging business, Archie Blyer.
Blyer.
He's the Godfrey's orchestra director. Sonny Clapp brought him in to me. The fellow wrote Girl of My Dreams.
Had him on the show a few weeks back. We could sit here and talk about the old stars, Aileen Stanley, Johnny Marvin, Billy Murray, all the others all afternoon, but I think the folks here in the studio want to hear some more of that fine vocal work.
So, Ken, you know, I'm amused how your knowledge of music and everything, you know, people seem to be more acquainted with it now than they used to be, and I want to tell you that your store of knowledge is rather extensive. I mean,
no, it's very small, very small.
Well, I don't think so. I've been around a long time. I think you have quite a knowledge of music and quite a knowledge of the historical background of popular music.
Well,
tell you what I'd like to do. I was raised in Louisiana, you know. I was born in Texas and raised over in Louisiana. That's where the blues started, practically, and I used to be, that was my first kick. I was a blues singer. And I'd like to just give you just an idea how they used to sing blues before. There were any St. Louis blues or Memphis blues or any of them published. These are the kind of things we used to sing, and the kind that they were more sweeter then, you know, nicer than instead of being quite so coon-shouty as they got a little later on. I'd just like to give you an idea of an old blues strain and what it sounds like.
Certainly would like to hear that. The original blues, Gene Austin.
I can read your letters, but I can't read your mind. I can read your letters, but I can't read your mind. So don't do your writing in between the lines. That muddy Mississippi River's oh so mighty wide. That muddy Mississippi River is oh so mighty wide. The gal I got to get to is on the other side. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No.
The original blues from down in Louisiana.
Well, that's just a little part of it, Ken. I was just trying to give you an idea. I was out with Eddie Arnold last night. Went out to have dinner with him. He's a wonderful singer and a friend of mine. And
saw him just a few minutes
Parker.
ago out in front of the Maxwell House. He did a show here, the old South Room upstairs, about 3 o'clock, I believe it was.
Oh, well, he's really a swell singer. We were down in New Orleans last Mardi Gras together, all of us. Had a little fun down there. Fellas with him, Tom Parker, used to be with me a long time ago, and he's a real fine manager, nice guy. But getting back to music business again, it's very interesting to me to see how young people get onto it nowadays. You know, back in my time, I mean, about one out of so many, most of them had a tin ear, we call it, you know. I mean, it was squares in those days. So. Nowadays, they're all right up there, and it's really nice to see it.
Well, that's partially due to the disc jockeys, don't you think? We can
That
give them
certainly
credit
is.
for a lot of that.
Well, I'm going to sure give it to you.
There's an old record I've got called Sunday. Have it out at Vanderbilt University. It's been pretty popular in the dormitory. You remember doing that one?
I sure do. You want me to...
I'd like to hear a bit of that,
Kick it over a
especially
little?
that, is it Iwi Wah Wah, the high
Well, I
range
don't know
you hit
about
on
the
that?
wah-wah. You know, we used to do things a lot of times. We didn't have too
Ad
many...
lib, strictly ad lib.
We didn't have too much instrumentation, so you'd have to do something to keep it moving. That's about the idea. Now I'm blue every Monday, thinking over Sunday, that one day when I'm with you. I cry all day Tuesday, I sigh all day Wednesday. Oh my, how I dream about you. Then comes Thursday, Gee, it's long and never goes by. Friday makes me feel like I'm gonna die. The next day is my fun day. It won't be long till Sunday, that one day when I'm with you. Got any more ideas?
How about Forgive Me?
Forgive me, please forgive me. I didn't mean to make you cry. I love you and I need you. Just do anything but don't say goodbye. Let bygones just be bygones, for we all make mistakes now and then. Forgive me, why I'm sorry, my dear, and let's be sweethearts again.
Wonderful work. Man of great renown, Gene Austin. And Gene, I'd like for you to meet someone. This fellow who writes the old record shop. He's my partner in crime on this little thing, which is new to the Nashville audience. To my knowledge, no one here has ever played old recordings. We're ashamed of Nashville for not doing it, and we're glad that we could bring the old record shop to Nashville, something that's mushroomed out of the north. A lot of people are doing it in the north and on network. Tom Landis, he's an authority on your records, by the way.
Well, Tom, you know, I've met him, but I'd like to meet him officially here in front of the deal and everything.
Thanks, sir. I was on with Ken for a while on the show, and I was so awful, sounded so bad on the air that they had to kick me upstairs into the writing department. But I'll tell you, this is the greatest experience of my life, and I'm sure our listeners. I know I've been sitting in there taking about 150 phone calls since you went on the air. Everybody wants a song. Everybody tells us how wonderful the show is. The manager of the station called up and said it was wonderful. All he wanted to do was hear more Gene Austin songs.
I hope my boss is listening. He might raise my salary, Tom.
I'm sure he will. Now, is there anything else you'd like to do? Anything?
Well,
you can
now, we
remember?
have a lot of young folks over here, Tom, and I know that see a lot of pretty girls, and I know that they like the kind of songs they usually like. I like to sing something real uptown, something Cole Porter's. I mean, something like that we do in New York and some of the smart places. Could I do something like that?
I
mean,
think so.
Like
Would you like to hear that?
How about just one of those things, huh?
Great.
Now, it was just one of those things, just one of those crazy things, one of those bells that none and rings, just one of those things, just one of those nights, just one of those fabulous flights, a trip to the stars on
Friends, I hate to do it, but we're going to have to cut off. You've been listening to the old record shop from WMAK in Nashville, Tennessee. One record, and that's all, because the other songs were by the famous Gene Austin. Many thanks to Gene Austin for being here in the studio, and also his lovely wife, Mrs. Gene Austin. The program is written by Tom Landis. Till next week, this is Ken Berryhill saying so long from the old record shop.
It was just one of those. Remember the night we said, I love you. Do you remember? And remember we found a lonely spot. And after I learned to carol, you promised that you